Let's hope this works now. Oh, let's just add that in. Yeah, let's see if this works, everyone. Try and sort this part out. Okay, let's see. Oh, this. Here we go. Let's hope that's up there now for everyone. Hello. At least I've got one person here. Don't forget you can ask any question you want, seeing as this is a live stream. I'm hoping it's working now, yeah. I don't know why it wasn't working. Maybe it's wearing glasses this time around. Hello. Some people in there. Again, ask any question you want. I'm free as a book. Don't be afraid to ask anything. Seeing as it's almost 7:30 here. I was supposed to start this at 7 p.m. So I apologize for that wait. There we go. How is everyone doing? Are you all okay today? Enjoying the weekend? Food, yeah. I should be eating after this live stream. More people are coming in. Hello. Well, I just got myself the Switch, and I don't know anything about games. Does anyone have any advice on what good games there are for it? I am going to eat a Thai red curry. Hello, Sion. Though you can't stay. Thank you for saying hello. Too long into it. So yeah, like finally got one of these. Don't really know much what to do with it. Well, hmm. I mean, I bought 3 games, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I got Mario Kart. I got one of the Pokemon games. I'm not sure if that's good. And then I did get Animal Crossing. I did originally play the original one when it came out in 2000. Well, over in the UK, it came out in 2003. That was on the GameCube. Hello, Sophie Rose. It's okay if you just got home. I understand everyone has like work and other things to do. But yeah, the original Animal Crossing. I mean, the graphics are amazing now, but I'm someone also easily pleased when it comes to games because I don't know anything about them. Maybe get the new Zelda one because my best friend is a gamer. Maybe she can help me. Mario Kart's fun when you have someone to play with. I don't know if the rest of you, but I'm quite competitive. If you believe in star signs, I'm an Aries, so I like to compete to win. So by yourself, it's it's not so great. But you can play online on the Switch, so I can play with people all over the world. Just have to connect to it, and a little fee you have to pay. Don't forget, guys, you can ask me any question. You can ask me how I got into BLs. You could just ask me anything you want. Don't be afraid to just type it in. Make sure that that's all set up. Been a long. Right now, in terms of acting, because of the lockdown, there isn't anything I'm in. I have done, the usual workshops, or I was in something for Sky Arts, which was about the rave scenes in the kind of 80s and 90s, and I played an actual person who was a DJ over here. So that was kind of fun to be on set and film. You could also, I guess I could leave a link at one point to some acting stuff I've done. I know it's on my other Twitter, the Twitter that has my real name is on there because each year, twice a year, there is a showreel show day, which is you show your showreel with your acting ability all over the world, and people can view it and leave comments and share it, and you can contact agents. For anyone who wants to do acting, that's a really good thing to look up on Twitter. But other than that, I was doing first AD stuff, and unfortunately, you lose quite a lot of money because of what's going on right now. But I'd rather be safe than just put people at risk. Ah, another fire sign. What can I say? I mean, we live up to our names. Earth. So which ones are earth signs? Then I only know the fire signs because I am one. Should probably put my glasses back on so I can actually see you guys. I forgot what it looks like to be on a webcam. Ah, Wales. Um, well, I lived in Bristol for 4 to 5 years. So I wasn't too far from Wales. I live currently in London for now, and that's where I'm from. I'm a Londoner. Uh, North, yes, northwest. I live near Camden Town, and that's kind of where I grew up. I just don't sound like I'm from Camden Town. Ah, Capricorn. Well, my mom's a Capricorn, so I have to be extra nice to you because I have a lot of respect for my mom. I like that you know yours, but not the others. I get that. We don't really know anyone else's signs unless they tell us. And sunny Wells, yeah. Well, the whole UK is very sunny. I mean, it's always sunny here. Oh, hello. I don't know. Hi. Interesting name. Ah, those are the signs. Okay. Ah. I should probably remember this, seeing as I think every single one of those signs is a family member of mine. I have a very, very big family, so I'm sure one of them is one of those signs. Ah, hello, hello, Noel. I think I haven't. When's the last time I spoke to someone from Nevada? A couple of years ago. And then I used to know a few people that I hard to remember names, but when I was younger, I remember there was a Harry Potter website called Three Tasks. I should know. I moderated on that at one point, and there used to be quite a people from Nevada around there. Because we had someone from Wales, we had someone from Nevada. Ah, sure. So don't forget, you can ask away any questions so that I can answer them for you. So you can get to know me a bit more if you want to. Oh yeah. The weather in London's been pretty blustery, so it's been very, very windy, unfortunately. It's been a bit strange. It's been raining for a few minutes and then all of a sudden it's sunshine and then it's raining again, but pretty strong winds recently. So taking the dogs out hasn't been a bit fun for them or me. Ah, Amsterdam. Oh, I love Amsterdam, but I've only been to obviously Amsterdam. I haven't been to the rest of the Netherlands. Would love to go though. I think my whole family is going to Amsterdam soon. What dogs do I have? I have a Shorkie, which is a Shih Tzu and Yorkie, and I have a Pomchi Spitz, so a Pomeranian Chihuahua Spitz. One is called Muffin, and that was because of the color of his skin, and then one is called Bronson. And Bronson is the Shorkie, and Muffin is the Pomchi Spitz. I think they're in one of my videos. I think that'll be up on YouTube soon. Was it up already? Maybe it's up already. It's always at the end. They came into my room. One knows how to open my door. So, Sophie, I see that you say you're from Amsterdam. Is there any good shows that you watch in Amsterdam? The only show I technically watch from there is V is the Mall, because I actually really like that show and have been watching it for years. But that's more or less all I really know in terms of what's shown there on TV. Make sure. So you watched that show too. Uh, I think in terms of reviewing on YouTube, I saw someone doing it years ago for a show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is one of my favorite ever shows that's out there, along with what this shirt comes from, which is Schitt's Creek and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And I saw her doing reviews, and I've always wanted to do something with YouTube all the way back from 2008. And I knew I would be probably more niche because of how I react to things, but I do like watching programs and reviewing, and I watched them do it, and I really enjoyed what they did. It's a lot of work that goes into it, but I thought, why not push yourself and get yourself out there and just do something, especially during it was just before the lockdown. So I started, but then the lockdown happened, and I thought, why not just do it? Push yourself out there, kind of get yourself back on camera. And I like the shows. I actually really enjoy the shows, be them good or bad. And it's always kind of fun to review a show because you review it and someone can tell you a fact about the show, or they I don't know, they just can communicate with people. It's always a great way to communicate with people because everyone's always different. Speaking of doors, what's behind this? Behind this door is the rest of where I live. This is just one room I'm in right now. So it's just my dogs are behind this as well somewhere, probably listening to me say their names. How did I get into BL? So I I got into BLs actually from watching, I guess you want to say queer films and TV shows, or things that had male or female parents. And so I would watch something called Shelter, movies like that in latter days. And then there was Verbeton Liebe, which was a German show called Forbidden Love, and it had two male characters. And I kind of got from their recommended Grey Rainbow and things like that. And I was like, okay, these are pretty depressing. And so I thought, am I going to continue watching this? And then Sotus came. Oh, well, no, it's before Sotus. It was, what was the one with White and Lovesick? But it was Sotus that got me into actually watching BLs because I really enjoyed what they did, and it's so different to British cinema, British TV shows. I mean, it's completely different. Um, in terms of reading, do you know what did a good book? Usually I read like horror things. I'm into like the slasher genre and horrors like that. So if it's to read, then just anything that's really going to entertain me. I don't think I have a favorite author. I don't think I've ever really thought about it in terms of that. I know I should because there's so many books out there, but as long as it entertains me. Guilty pleasures to BL shows. Hmm. I don't know if I have any guilty pleasures. I'm kind of honest in what I like and what I don't like. In terms of BLs. Well, what would you guys consider a guilty pleasure in terms of your shows? Trying to figure out there because I don't really feel guilt, so I don't really feel it's a guilty pleasure. I guess something that I repeatedly do like to watch is Dark Blue Kiss. I think I'm a fan of Tay. I like seeing him act, and also he seems like a very nice guy outside of the shows. So I tend to watch his stuff again. And hello from Italy. What part of Italy are you from? Yeah. So with Bethany, you like watching reviews? Yeah, I guess it's true. People will see something in a different light to you, but also sometimes they miss things that you see, so you want to tell them. Of course, you have to be careful not to spoil stuff for them, but it's also great that they catch things that you don't, or their feelings about a show are completely different to yours. So when you watch it again, you feel a different sensation from it. Yeah, Grey Rainbow. It's. I don't know how to put it. It's not an easy watch, and I also think it's because it has that familiar tropes. If you haven't seen it, then I won't spoil it. But just remember, it has a trope that I think a lot of BL fans are not a fan of, or people in gay media do not like. It's a shame though, because I think most of Grey Rainbow is really good. Sotus, yeah, Sotus was. I think Sotus was a lot of people's first BL. Sotus really blew up, and it's been quite nice to watch Singto's career and where he's gone from that. But Sotus was really good. I did a rewatch of both Sotus and Sotus S on my Patreon only for there, and I forgot how frustrating Sotus S can be, even though I actually genuinely like a more mature themed BL, because I'm not a 16-year-old, so the other elements don't entertain me like that, because I obviously with work and whatever we go through, we kind of view things differently as we get older. Is there a show I could wish to see for the first? I think a show that I wish I could see again for the first time is Gaia Sa Pelicula. To me, that was clearly written by someone from the LGBTQ community, not just to fantasize about and fetishize about male parents. And there's just so much. It's if I wish I had a show like Gaia Sa Pelicula when I was younger, when I was coming out, I think that would have been such a light bulb moment for me as a child. Well, not a child. I was a teenager growing up when I came out. So I wish I could definitely see that one again. Tuscany. Well, I have family from Palermo. My family's from Sicily and Malta. So you haven't seen any Taiwanese. I mean, is it because you're so used to because you're from Taiwan? Are you just so used to them? Do you not find them entertaining? I personally have been really entertained by the Taiwanese BALs, because I there's quite a few. I remember watching one years ago about this couple that lived in a really nice house and no one knew. The parents found out, and there was a lot of comedy to it. I wish I could remember the title. It's so long ago now, but I don't know. We Best Love, I thought was really well done. Both that and Fighting Mr. Second. I think that was pretty good. Maybe give Taiwanese shows a chance. Yeah, Gaia Pelicula is definitely up there as my favorite. I really enjoyed Manner of Death. Game Boys was really good. A Tale of a Thousand Stars, another one that I didn't expect to be as good as it was. Trying to think. I think the last couple of years have been really good for BLs in a general sense. I feel like we're getting more mature themes, more themes that I think we all want to see. I also think South Korea is doing an amazing job. South Korea's really starting to come through, because I'm watching Nobleman Ryu's wedding on Patreon, and I actually really am enjoying that, even though they are only 12 to 13 minutes long. Oh, yeah, yeah. Game Boys was my first Filipino BL, and that's because everyone kept leaving me comments saying, please react to it. I think by the time I started to react to it, it was on episode 7. I'm trying to figure out now. It was a while ago, but sound like Ross Geller there. Yeah, I think Game Boys was quite groundbreaking for obviously how it was filmed. like what they had to go through to get that out. That means they're extremely talented. Those two, well, all of the actors. Let's hope that Game Boys 2 will be out soon. Three will be free. Do you know what? I haven't. People have asked me to watch that. Um, I haven't though. It is intriguing because obviously it's I guess a thruple. So it's not. It's hard because BL is, I guess, more, the terminology is more specific to Asia than it is to anywhere else in the world. But I wonder if, because obviously for other people, I'm not sure what other programs. Maybe Skum, do you know, the Norwegian one? Maybe that can be classed. Is that classed as BL? I don't think so. Maybe just LBGT. But I hear a lot of good things about Free will be free. Maybe I should actually just watch that. I could put it on my list. I have a list that I created. No, yeah, I mean, I do mention that when I do my reviews that I do wish Korean BLs would do longer episodes. They have such great cinematography. The acting is really good, and but sometimes when you have an episode that's 12 minutes, sometimes it works. Sometimes you don't need anything more, but other times you you feel like you're missing things. Like they could add a bit more into the story, develop it a little bit more, and they only tend to do 8 episodes. And I'm not sure if it's because it's such a conservative place that this is them testing the waters for them to then, you know, develop more shows. I hope so. I really do, because I do think they have a lot of potential. Oh yeah, yeah. I will definitely be watching Untamed. I think Word of Honor, I will be doing a first episode reaction recording tomorrow. So I will be watching what's it called? Is it called You Dance With Me? Let's see. I've got my sheet up right here. You Make Me Dance. So I will be watching episode 4 of You Make Me Dance, and then episode 1 of Word of Honor. So I have those to come, and then after that, I will be rewatching Until We Meet Again and Untamed. And I know a lot of people love Untamed. I'm just a bit nervous about the comments, because I've seen comments and people are very passionate. So I've got to try and remember names and elements of, you know, the plot. Yeah, Untamed is definitely one that a lot of people really like. Do I have any favorite dynamics when it comes to BL parents? Um, I mean, I do. I guess one of my favorite couples is definitely Max and Tool, because I feel like they just kind of go all out with it. Uh, I really do like Off Gun. I think watching someone like Off, who, in my opinion, was very uncomfortable with not just affection, but affection towards another male, to a man. He's a full grown man who's really comfortable in what he does. He's really respectful. He is very good at as an actor, and I think Gunn is probably my favorite actor out of all of them. There's something about him, because I think it's because he just draws you in. Something about Gunn is just very entertaining. I also, who else do I like? I liked Sam and You from We Best Love. Hmm. There's so many parents. I never know their names, but they were in I Told Sunset About You. Those two actors were amazing. Um, Probably I Told Sunset About You is actually also one of my favorite BLs that I've ever watched. There's just so much about it, not just the acting, but the cinematography, the direction. It's so smartly done. Don't worry, I will be reacting to Untamed. That will be out. Hopefully not too long, because I have other shows ending their run. So my day is ending, in between is ending. So hopefully I can start putting other stuff up. And also forgetting that you could fill in a form for GMTV stuff. So I had Theory of Love for months on my YouTube channel, not realizing that I can get it unblocked like that. You make me do. I mean, I understand you probably have a lot of questions because of the Cream BLs. They I think are like I said, working towards opening up more shows, because I think people have started to be receptive to it. They realize that, again, you can make money from it. So I'm sure we'll see a lot more. And it seems like a lot of idols or ex-idols are starring in these shows. So I think that would bring fans over. Yeah, Max Tool. Yep. Yeah, Together With Me. I think that's also what kept me watching. That was so different from Sotus. Hercule Poirot. I did actually watch that growing up. Yeah, that's it. Became PP from I Told Sunset About You. Honestly, reacting to that and just watching that was a truly wonderful experience. I don't think I was bored for a single moment watching I Told Sunset About You. I just wish they didn't charge people so much to watch an episode. Oh, suspend that disbelief of it being a character. Who would I pick? So it's not the actor, it's the character. Hmm. Oh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I'm trying to think here. Who would? I understand why you would date Poupon. Definitely wouldn't date Third from Theory of Love. Not at all. Hmm. Maybe Corn from Together With Me. He looks like he'd be quite fun to have fun with. Hmm. I mean, yeah, Tay did cry, but I also think it's probably because it's him understanding himself, and the idea of being attracted to someone that he was friends with, then enemies with, then someone he's always kind of tried to emulate or rival or aspire to be. And I guess he's just a very emotional person. I mean, he did cry a lot. I'm not used to people crying that much, but I don't know. The actor really puts everything into crying. I mean, you almost feel like you can feel it from his soul. Do you think he caused all the problems? I mean, I wasn't happy with something that he did in the last, with the college admissions. That really bugged me. But did he cause all the problems? probably did actually cause a lot of problems. Yeah, you're probably right about that. Hmm. Word of honor, I will be, like I just said, I will be reacting to that. I will be recording the first episode tomorrow, so that'll be very interesting to see where that goes, especially with how they work with the censorship and just what they can incorporate. Because you do have to take time to realize with censorship that it won't be maybe as in your face, so it'd probably be very subtle and probably a lot of nuances to them kind of finding out themselves. Ah, yeah, Gaushuba. Yeah, I get it. I understand why you would. 100%, yeah. He feels like he would actually be a nice partner, very considerate. That's such a good question. I'm actually really trying to think of all the characters because they're all so different. Definitely wouldn't date anyone from Sotus. I think they would drive me insane. Hmm. So, what shows is everyone looking forward that is coming out maybe this year or beginning of next year? Oh, so these are two characters from Untamed. I'm really gonna have to, I think, write names down. I might have to. I don't want to look at names just in case, so I don't know when a character comes in. But it's gonna be. There's a lot of names. I think there's a lot of characters. The new Off Gun, yeah, I am really looking forward to Off Gun's new show. Definitely, it's going to be very interesting to have him play twins. If anyone's seen The Parent Trap, it's very reminiscent of that. Avenue X about lip reading. What you okay? Is this because of voiceover dubbing issue? I don't know. I guess it's voiceover dubbing, maybe. But I will go and look up Avenue X. I promise you the moon. I hope I promise you the moon lives up to what I think we all think it's going to be. I think it will because the acting for them is so good, and it'll be interesting because I don't know if they're going to end on a sad note or it's going to be happy. Cool. I don't know. I mean, I'm okay if something's sad as long as you know, it's good. It tells a story. I don't mind sadness. I mean, there's certain shows that I think a lot of us, like in the history franchise, if we've seen a certain show there, I think it left us quite unsatisfied. The last episode. Yeah, I couldn't date someone like Thon. I couldn't date someone who tried to manipulate me in that way. And also, I don't think I could be with someone who's so possessive. I kind of like my space. So whenever I date someone, I wouldn't be able to be around. I can't be around someone I'm dating too long. I have to literally tell them I'm gonna have to stop seeing you for a few days. Otherwise, we're gonna argue, or you're gonna drive me insane. I like my space. Definitely not Thon though. He's a bit, yeah. Also, he doesn't know what. I was gonna say consent. He has issues with being a bit too on top of someone. Yeah, I promise you the moon. Yeah, Yeah, a third season of We Best Love. I don't know who the main characters would be. I feel like the main couple we've got from the first two seasons, their story's told, but I really want them to be in the third one. I hope they're in the third one. Be prepared for a ride. Okay. I'm going to imagine the Untamed is just going to be a lot. Because there's a lot of. Is it 50 episodes? Why? Why are you afraid of a third season of We Best Love? Are you afraid it will end bad because they don't have any other direction to go in? Good question. A trope in BLs which I wish would just go away is. Sorry, I need a cough. Would be enemies to lovers. I just cannot stand that enemies to lovers tropes at all. I'm also not a fan. I don't think it's a trope, but it's that I'm only attracted to you. I'm not attracted to anyone else of the same gender. I think that takes away a lot of the meaning for me, because it's fine if you're just attracted to that person, but you then saying you're not attracted to anyone else. It, sorry, guys. I think I need some water. Another trope, yeah, Step Brothers. I really don't like the whole Step Brothers trope, and I get that they're not related. And if you know what show that's about, then you'll know. I didn't like it in Love by Chance, and I really didn't like Love by Chance too that much. I just no, but yeah, I just if you're calling it a trope, then I hate that whole. I don't like men. I just like you. It's like, well, that doesn't make sense because the person you like is male. So you then did like men. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna need to write down names because, as you said, there's birth name, courtesy name, and their title. Also, like I said, I've seen comments, and some people haven't been particularly friendly towards reactors. So, and because obviously they like the show, and I'm not sure. So, we'll see how that goes. I'm still gonna do it. I don't back down. So there's a special edition of the Untamed. So is the special edition just a lot of condensed episodes? I know it's 50 episodes, but I'm guessing I don't know. I feel like though watching it all might be better, but I don't know. Again, maybe the special will be really insightful for me. Yeah, I get that you don't know where they're going to go with the story. I get that. Do you get annoyed with the 1-0, especially as the 0 then is seen as the wife, which bugs? Yep. I can't stand that 1-0 BS that is represented, and I know it could be a culture thing, but I think it gets very frustrating, and maybe other people who aren't straight can attest to this, that when you're with a same-sex partner, then someone asks you who's the wife and who's the husband. That's very frustrating. Also, I didn't get the need for the 1-0. It felt kind of toxic. It felt like there was toxic masculinity in that. So that was quite frustrating to watch in those episodes, because I don't think we need to also know who's the 1-0, and I feel like you say you're the one and all of a sudden you're the man, and I don't think that's how it works. My engineer did a good job in kind of subverting what we view as the top and the bottom. Ken Lano was that Ken Lano was in Love by Chance, right? If it's who I'm thinking, yeah, probably some of my least favorite couples. Sorry, guys, it's hot in this room and it's giving me a dry chest. Word of Honor is dubbed, but they filmed. Oh, okay then. I mean, ah, okay, about it being dubbed and Avenue X. That's quite smart. I'll look them up. I think that would help me a lot. Yeah, Adam, I completely understand about calling your male partner wife. I know it's a cultural thing because I've had people from Thailand explain that to me, and that's absolutely fine. You know, if you're not offended by that, then there's nothing to be offended by. I wouldn't call my partner wife. It just isn't something that I'm used to, and I don't think they're used to. But each of their own. If it's a cultural thing, then it's just what they're used to. There's no harm in it, but it's just not something I would call my partner. So, so it's chronological and it's condensed. Okay. Okay, so watch the normal version and then the special. Ooh, a BL soundtrack. Game Boys. Um, their original soundtrack was pretty good, and I really liked Gaisel Pelicula. I liked Ian singing, even though that got my episode copyrighted. But his voice is really, really nice. What else was good? Dark Blue Kiss, not the original soundtrack really, but the opening theme song always made me laugh. It was so dramatic. Yeah, again, a cultural thing. I also think, again, sometimes it's really hard with the language barriers because when you try to use subtitles and you're trying to make it the easiest possible route you can for the English language, because when they do that, sometimes it gets lost in translation. I've also had people who do or watch the Filipino BLs say to me, the subtitle is actually wrong, and it's this, and then the whole meaning of a show or a scene can change, and sometimes it's frustrating, but you can't help it if translated it into English isn't the easiest. It's just what they can work around and what helps, because sometimes in language a word for girlfriend and boyfriend is the same, or a partner, whereas in English you have different meanings, different words for it. Once One second, I just have to go behind this magical door. Yeah, a lot of people say Until We Meet Again. I did originally watch it and then I stopped. I'm not sure why I stopped. I think I was an assistant director on two film sets. Then I was doing other things and it kind of just disappeared on me. And for some reason, I've never got back to it. And I really do need to get back to watching that. The violin, yeah, the violin, the telenovela. Uh, Dark Blue Kiss had a, it was just so dramatic, but it worked so well for the show. Hi, baby. Okay, normal version's longer. Oxygen. Do you know you're correct? I actually think Oxygen was an underrated show, but I did have a few issues with that. I really didn't like the Doctor character, and it's unfortunate because I didn't really like him in Sotus S either. Uh, Thon Type. I need to look back on Thon Type, the original soundtrack. I remember liking the main theme song. Love of Siam. Oh no. I think I have watched that. I mean, I'm okay with watching that coming of age stuff, especially when it was a while ago, because you know, at one point we all had a coming of age story. Wanna go out? Come on then. That was Bronson, by the way. Uh, yeah, I don't mind coming of age stories. I mean, at one point, um, I think I have seen it. It rings a bell because I did watch a lot of films and stuff like that before I got into the BLs, like Lovesick, and there was ones before that. I just can't remember them. Oh, you're so Oxygen was cancelled. Is that because of the popularity of the show, or lack of, or just funding? Oh, you're excited for Bond Prem. I get that. They know how to work their fans. They know how to make you interested in them. They seem to have a lot of fun being friends and joking about. Love Sam in Bangkok. Oh, Bangkok Love Story. Yeah. Was it 2007? Wow. I didn't realize it was so long ago. Oh, thank you. Bronson is cute. So is my dog Muffin, who likes to think he's a model, but he wouldn't come in for some reason. Let's pretend you are a BL character. Okay. Hmm. What? Hmm. Stereotypical character. What I? Hmm. Do you know? I have absolutely no idea who I would see myself as. Um, hmm. I'm not actually sure what kind of stereotypical character I see myself as. Um, ooh, maybe. Well, what characters don't like to hug? Because I don't like to hug people. Was it? No, I was going to say pond, but no. I'm really not sure on that question. I've never really saw myself in any of the characters as a whole. I'd love to have the intelligence of uh, what was Tool's character? Tan, the doc Bun. Bun. I'd love to have the intelligence of Bun from Murder of Death. Ah, they lost the rights. Oh, that's such a shame because I do think a second season would have been great. I feel like they needed a second season because it, to me, as it went on near the end, it kind of got kind of convoluted. I'd love to hear what stereotypical characters all of you see yourselves as, if you can, because that's a really good question. I'm actually going to have to think about that one later on. Papa and Daddy, yeah, I have seen clips of it, like the trailer. I need to pay for Gaga Ooh La La because I don't want to have to watch shows through illegal means. I want to watch it through the actual streaming. I'm not sure if you can react to Papa and Daddy. But I'd like to. It does look like very interesting to have just these two men in a happy relationship and then the child. Yeah, that it looks like a really good story. Japanese series that you liked. I really liked Cherry Magic, apart from the fake out kiss. That really annoyed me, but the whole story was really good. Um, I'm trying to think of the title of the other one. Is it Love Line or Love? It was really, really good. It was how two guys meet by standing on a line, and from that, it built on their life, and it went through all the way up until they were 40. Oh, Pooh from Oxygen. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I get that. I could see that. I wouldn't mind. His character was quite interesting. Yeah, cold characters are probably me, which is funny because I'm actually the thing I'm best at when it comes to acting is actually comedy. And but yeah, as the nerdy characters, you've seen me. I wear my glasses, but and the funny characters is so it's funny because it's the cold ones. But when I act, I always get the comedic roles. Love on the Line. Thank you. I thought that was such a good short BL. A few of my favorite kiss scenes. Ooh, definitely the opening kiss from Together with Me with Corn and Knock. I think that is a big shocker for a lot of people because I don't think we expected it, not at that time. The couch or sofa scene in We Best Love or Fighting Mr. Second, the second episode, that is from an acting standpoint is a truly, truly remarkable and exceptional moment. I think those two kisses really stand out to me. The kissing in Guy South Pellicula, yes, that's also another one. That's also because it's just so sweet and you want it to happen and it finally happens. What else? I do, though there was a lot of steamy kisses, and sometimes I felt it was a bit over the top. Was Why Are You with Fighter and Tutel? They really went in for those kisses. That was quite a shock. You think you'd be the nerdy best friend with glasses who's super supportive? Never count yourself short. I think you would get a love interest. It's up to you, obviously. I mean, those it's the word nerdy. I'm not a big fan of the word nerdy because of growing up watching stuff like Saved by the Bell, if you know what that is, and the idea of nerdy. But I mean, at least you're supportive. At least you're there for your friends. But I think you'd get a love interest. Go and look for them. There are some reactors. Oh, okay, so people can react to it. I just have to pay for the subscription. But let me pay for that first, and then I'll start reacting to that. I'll put that on my list. His is one of my favorite Japanese BLs. His. I have heard of that. I have seen quite a few from quite a few years ago, so I'm trying to remember their names. Not his, I'm just mean in general Japanese BLs. I saw those technically before I saw Thai BLs, but I didn't really stick to the whole show. Uh, that is on my list. What now? That one is on my list to react to. Do you think for Taiwan being for you above BLs in terms of quality, is it because of what they're showing and because you feel it's so new? Because Taiwan is doing an amazing job, but also I guess because their marriage, you can get married now, same sex marriage, and they've always been a bit more open. That maybe it works better, the quality is better. I do think a lot of places caught up to Thai BLs, but I do think Thailand's coming back. I just do think they followed the kind of repetitive narrative. We get that cluster F. I won't try not to swear, but that cluster F in the penultimate episode. So I kind of wish they would change it up, and I feel like they're starting to with Thai BLs, whereas with the other BLs and from other countries, they can do that. I think with the Philippines, they definitely have a lot of shows out, so maybe just condense it down for a while, because I know they want to make money, but you've got to make sure that your audiences are interested. Which BL character have you marked the most? What does that mean? If you could be in charge of a BL series, which actors would you pick as the main couple, and what about the plot? Oh. I really would pick Off and Gun and Max and Tool. I would love to see a slasher, because again, it's my favorite genre. So I'd like to see something like that. I'd also like to kind of sometimes see plots where they're already a couple instead of the whole 10 episodes until they finally get together. I'd like to see an established relationship. That would be quite nice for a plot. Hmm. See, I'm not a script writer. Let's see. Who's. I mean, I'm really enjoying Mix and Up. I would quite like to see them on a show. Maybe not as a couple, maybe as friends. I'm not sure. They're quite interesting. But a slasher BL would be quite fun to watch because it would be interesting to find out who did it, who's the killer. Who would I make it? I think Gunn would be too obvious because he looks so cute. What is the one from Until We Meet Again who always says Dean? What's that actor's name? Fluke. Is it Fluke? He would be good as the killer. A BL show that was so bad I stopped watching. Hmm. Ooh, really good question. I I mean I tend to watch them even if they're bad, but I did skip Kiss. I was only interested in the Pete Carroll scene, so I skipped a lot of that. So I don't tend to follow the straight couples. I'm not generally interested because I watch and have so much of that in my life outside of watching BLs that I'm not really interested when it's in a BL, unless it's Sammy, then I'm interested in what she's got to do. I didn't like, was it called My Dream? It was one where he kept dreaming and he had some sort of guardian angel looking over him, and then the other side couple, um, she would turn into a guy or a girl depending if she got wet or she didn't, and it always looked like his dead ex girlfriend. It just wasn't a good BL. Someone else who likes horror. Yeah, Linda's questions are very very good. Mew and Tool, they're friends from college days, university days. I think they would be interested on a series together. Yeah, I know that Fluke was in a slasher. I've seen the trailer online for it's on a ghost ship or something like that. Um, I'm not sure if they're like thieves or something like that. They do a scene where someone comes downstairs and to shut one of them up, someone kisses Fluke's character. There's also a kind of one where they're supposed to be like the army or something, and there's ghosts. That seemed like that would be funny. I didn't end up watching it, but I saw a trailer for it. Good question, Adam. If you find out an actor who's not so friendly towards, well, I stand by how I feel about the one who's called God or Got or whatever. I'm not a fan of his, and I'll stand by that. That's why I didn't end up finishing Two Moons, or maybe I just didn't like it. Um, it's hard to tell which actors are not so friendly, um, because you don't truly know. As but God is definitely, there's just nothing about him I'm interested in remotely. I at all. Like I won't watch something he's in because I have no desire to care what he does. And also Two Moons was so problematic and how they wanted their the actors to be straight when maybe not all of them were. Um it's really hard because you like it's that hearsay and that rumors. You hear that certain actors, um but yeah, I've heard people talk about Christ from Sotus. Now I don't know if that's true. Maybe he was just uncomfortable with kiss scenes. I know that Mean from Love by Chance 1 and 2 said in a quote something about he would only go back to BLs if he didn't have any money, but I think that was a joke. It's hard when you're looking at words to really read the subtext and what it truly means. But again, God, all the way, I would not watch anything he's in, and I'm not sorry for saying that. I actually like Two Moons too, though again, now knowing what went on behind the scenes, it's very uncomfortable to watch. And of course, maybe I don't think any of those actors were actually comfortable in a BL either. So it's kind of like, make sure when you hire your actors, they're at least comfortable, or at least they know what they're going into if it's a BL, and that it's so that you know they understand it, and also the fans who watch the show know that they're trying to accommodate. It's be careful in who you hire. My Dream, the series, yeah, it was bad. Not as bad as What the Duck. What the Duck was unfortunately, especially the second season, which made zero sense at all. I think the yeah, bad. What the Duck was really bad. Whose cohort and which Love by Chance actors were disrespectful towards their? I don't know about this. Like who was disrespectful? I just know that the two main couples never came across like they were comfortable doing kiss scenes. Yeah, so who's cohort? I'm not sure which actor that is, or director, or acting coach. I'm not sure. Yeah, season two of What the Duck. I would honestly say save yourself the time. It's not needed really. You could just end on season one. Oh, okay. The one whose stepbrother liked him. This room. Oh, um. Oh no, no. Okay, I know who you guys are talking about. I actually like that we have an openly gay actor, and I know we had that with Fluke as well. But I'm very happy that we've had an openly gay character. And so, what if he's feminine? You know, gay people, bi people, pan people, we come in all different kind of shades of what we are. And he seems like he's a lot of fun behind the set. He's very, very confident person. So you have to give it to him, and I respect that. Uh, I so how were they disrespectful? Were they saying things about him? What do yeah? Another great question, Linda. What do I think about the shows that include fangirl characters? Now they're doing that in Lovely Writing, which, by the way, is a good show. Though I do think it's starting to fall into a repetitive narrative that other BLs have. Um, I'm not a big fan of what they show fangirls to be because I do think there's some element of truth in that, but I also think it's disrespectful to think that a lot of fans, especially the girls, are going to be the way they're depicted. There's a lot of female fangirls out there who are actually very respectful. Um, so it's hard because I don't want them to represent that part of the fandom, but that is a part of the fandom. And I think it's maybe sometimes shedding a light on it that will make you take a step back and realize maybe we need to be not so gun ho about the actors and characters. But I could do without fangirls and shows. I really could because I'm not used to it. It's not like that in that way in the UK. Like I mean, in America, you can when you go to conventions, sometimes they can be like that, but not how they depict them on Asian BLs. Yeah, Aoi. I saw, and I don't know why. For some reason, on my Instagram, that it shows up all BL stuff. I've never looked on a BL on my personal Instagram, but I've seen the image of Aoi, the actor, with his partner, and I know he's openly gay, and he's also 28, 29. They really look so young. They made jokes in some interviews. Do you know what? That's also stuff that's come out from like other actors too. Like Chris got in a lot of trouble for jokes. Uh, it's I'm not sure what they said in these interviews, but I guess if it's making a mockery of him and his femininity, then don't enter a BL world. Do show that centers around people that aren't straight. Because I don't like the idea of you taking someone's spot who either is part of the community or would be respectful in what they're doing. And as an actor, you have to get over it. As an actor, there are so many people in the industry who aren't straight. I mean, you should. I mean, I'm not a fan of the word stan because if everyone remembers Eminem's song, like I like the word fan more. Stan, it's a bit, a bit passionate. I was trying to find the word there, passionate. Ting from My Engineer. Ting from My Engineer is one of the best female characters written. I wouldn't call her a fangirl. She's just someone who would. I don't know. She was just an amazingly written character, and I'd love a character like that to be written for Sammy because I really like Sammy as an actress or an actor. Porsche. Was Porsche the doctor? Because I know he's been with his husband a very long time. I've seen some of their YouTube stuff. There are a few openly gay actors in BLs, but it tends to be they want a lot of, or at least straight presenting actors. We don't know a lot of what goes on behind the sets for these actors, but I also think we don't need to. I'm sure there are some who are open to the idea of being with someone of the same gender, but I'm not sure. I also think it's a PR thing that I think they're told to say gender doesn't matter when clearly they like one gender. I don't know. I think with Sammy, as she's getting older, she's also looking very different and she's presenting herself very differently. I think it's about the actress herself trying to break out of being pigeonholed. So it's auditioning for maybe a lot more dramatic roles because she's so good at comedy that unfortunately when you do comedy and people see you for that, that's what they remember. So maybe seeing her in something very dramatic would change a lot of cast and directors' minds about her because she's very castable, very castable. Are you? I'm definitely looking forward to Kin Porsche. I thought the trailer for that, and I didn't realize the mini movie trailer meant that they hadn't even started filming yet. It was so good. I honestly was truly impressed with what they presented in the trailer, considering I probably only just filmed that for a tiny period and don't know how much combat training, because combat training is very intense and it depends on if they did only 2, 3 days because it's obviously camera tricks that they use a lot in that. That if you actually pay attention, you'll notice that when they throw a punch, usually it's a few inches away from the face or it's angled away from the camera and they angle the head towards the camera. Or when they go to do choreography, you'll see that they kind of shift their arms and legs and shuffle it before they go to hit so that you can pick up on the cue when they're going to swing their arms. Ooh. Another good question, Linda. I shipping culture is quite concerning to some degree because I don't want these actors pretending to be a couple outside of the show because that's them outside of the show. I understand what they're doing and it's a marketing thing and it's to help them make money because I don't know if they make a lot of money doing BLs. Um, Honestly, I really I don't know how much money they make because it can be very difficult to actually make money as an actor. I mean, incredibly difficult. In the UK, more than 95% of actors will make under 11,000 a year. It's pretty bad in the UK. In terms, and I would prefer that people didn't care if they worked with someone else. As an actor, we should be able to see them, and they should be able to work with as many people as they want. And it's okay to kind of ship the characters, but maybe try and stay away from the idea of the actors because it's their private life and it's ruined friendships. I mean, if you look at Make It Right, it ruined two actors' friendships in that. I think it's made people uncomfortable with being with their scene partner because of shipping, because people make assumptions if they just go out for a meal together, forgetting that a lot of these actors have been friends for many years before they were ever in a series together. And I think sometimes people overstep, they can get a bit dangerous, they can encroach in their personal space because they're shipping something imaginary in their head. I would rather they didn't. I would rather they didn't pretend to be a couple. If they want to just be friends, that's fine. I understand when they do fan meets, but they don't have to go all out. I know people. What fans have to remember is an actor doesn't owe you anything. It's just their job to bring a character to life. It's then it's on you to then understand that. As an actor, it's just to do your job. Shipping culture is just it's I'm still not used to it after watching BLs for so long. I'm just really not used to it. In the UK, we don't see that at all. Like there is no such thing as a shipping culture. I mean, British people in general kind of I guess we're stiff upper lip type people, but we don't I mean we don't do the whole interviews and fan meets. Like it's still so foreign to me, even after all these years of seeing it. I've never felt the urge to go to a fan meet either. It's just like, okay, I mean, it's a marketing scheme. I have seen Gay OK Bangkok. I saw a few episodes. I know some of the actors in that are openly gay as well, and I think it represents more of maybe the gay culture, the real gay culture, maybe the adult gay culture. Um, I could be wrong, but I think it is like that. Well, a lot of the actors would get in trouble. I mean, I mean, Max came out about his girlfriend, so I don't know how people reacted to that. But I also think Max and Tool have been pretty open with things, so maybe there isn't such a shock. But there was a weird thing going on with you and golf at one point because I only see the comments on Twitter. I don't actually know what goes on. I see the comments on Twitter and I get really confused because I have no idea what goes on. I don't follow these actors' lives outside of the show. I may see some compilations and stuff like that, but in a general sense, I don't know too much. Fandom shipping culture, yeah, shipping culture is very toxic, especially when it doesn't live up to fans' expectations. Yeah, Bethany's correct. In Britain, we don't tend to see actors as couple multiple times. Do we ever see them like that? Maybe if they've been in the industry for 50, 60 years, they may have played a couple once before, but not usually. I don't think so. I don't think we do. No, I don't think we've ever done that. I think there were a couple in that show. They move on and they do another show, and probably Shakespeare too. Unfortunately, COVID. There are quite a few countries. The wave is getting bad again, and I don't know if anyone's seen, but GMMTV have said a few people like off and Tay got COVID. I think did Arm get COVID. So you've got to be careful. Like I think people don't sometimes realize how dangerous it can be until it's there, or you either get it or someone you know gets it. I still have family members who completely like Britain is pretty divided. I've got family members who don't believe in COVID, yet my mum's stepsister died from it. Our neighbor who we had upstairs, her sister and husband died from it. My best friend's aunt was in a coma. Thankfully, she's alive, but she had it and she's going to need oxygen because of it. I haven't seen episode 11 of Lovely Writer. I watch it when it comes out on YouTube the following week, and apparently the subtitles are more correct on the YouTube version. You know, with like his name's Cal. What's the character's name? What's the main guy's name? But when he Nupsip, when he says he wants to have sex with Jean. One second, guys. I need to give my dogs some water. Um, a show that I think is overrated. Together, it just didn't do anything for me the way I thought it was, but I don't think it was aimed towards me. Um, that Together for me was aimed at, I think, a younger audience who just wanted to look at two very good-looking men and kind of. I don't know. I do think Wynn's ability to cry is one of the best from an actor I've seen in a BL, but I just thought Together was overrated, and one that's underrated. Hmm. I would say underrated. I felt like My Engineer by some people was underrated. Um, it's hard because I feel like GMMTV does get a lot of viewership. It gets usually over 1 million, and they're really funny about reactions. Um, Trying to think what other shows. Um, it's hard because I came into certain shows later, like Hello Stranger. I think might be a bit underrated, but I do think My Engineer is underrated. He's coming to me now, Adam. You've said this before. This is the one with Cinto, right? If it is so, I need to watch that because I heard so many good things about it. Um, New Art, Perth Saint. Yeah, New Art. Well, New Art. We know if you know, I what art did. I think the way people have treated art has been pretty bad. Of course, there's two sides to a story. arts muse, and there's three sides. So there's arts muse and the truth. There's always three sides to a story. Perth Saint, I felt that was management, right? That seemed to be kind of bad. Saint and Z, what is going on with them? Did something happen with them in terms of shipping, or did they not act together anymore? This is how much I don't know. I would like to see, not Saint, C in more BLs. I think he would be pretty good in a BL, because I feel like he just goes with the flow as an actor. Love by Chance 2, I think, is overrated. By some people, I just didn't like it. I just felt like you completely changed the story of the side couple who are now the main couple, and it made no sense. But no one else in the show was in this alternative reality time weird loop. But these two didn't know each other. It was not good. Mike from GMM. Which one is Mike? He disappeared for a month. Which one's Mike? Oh wait, is that the one? On Theory of Love and all of that. He's got dark hair, bangs. There's a lot of TikTok stuff. 5 hottest guys in BLs. Well, I don't know if they're the 5 hottest guys, because this is subjective. Mine would be Toon. I like Nu. I like Singto. Maybe in my top 5. I'll just put him there. Sam from We Best Love. And he played the bodyguard in Where Your Eyes Linger. I'll probably change. I changed my mind. I don't know. They're all good-looking people. Must be nice. Unfortunately, COVID is it's getting bad. I have seen Lovesick. I can be honest and say, I think it's because they were really young. I don't think they were even of age. Maybe White was. It. I just didn't like. No. I know we saw Sammy in that, and that's when I first liked her. And I know White, is it Knight? They I think they were underage. So I don't want to go back and watch it. I'm okay. I'll stick to adults. That's kind of why, as much as I enjoyed Fish Upon the Star episode 3, because I've just reacted to that, the main actor is 17, so it's like I can't enjoy it too much. Okay, there's a new BL for Z called My Bro. Okay. I have seen Z's one of Cutie Pie. Yeah, I have seen that. I think someone posted it on Twitter. So at least he's doing other stuff. Have I ever seen He, She, It? No. He, She, It. No. What is that about? Thomas from Make Our Days Count is hot. Which one is Thomas? The twins were pretty good looking from Make Our Days Count, and I can't do guys with long hair. I can't. So I it's just something. So I couldn't find the main guy too hot because of the hair. It's just so weird. Well, if you were three, your typing abilities are amazing, Bethan. Yeah, uni BLs. I mean, yeah, uni. I can understand it because BL's boy love. Like, I don't like that it's called boys love, but I understand because it's a coming of age, usually story. Yeah, as you get older, you kind of want to get away from the uni side of things. That's why I liked what Manner of Death did and what Taiwan is doing. And other like A Thousand Stars, it was taken away mainly from that uni setting. Oh, Thomas is the cafe owner. Okay, yeah, I agree with you on that. Definitely, definitely. I also like, I guess, the actor who plays Li Cheng in History 4. He's quite good looking. I think I have a type when it comes to certain men. Fish upon There's racist jokes in Fish Upon the Sky. I'm only on episode 3, so I've clearly missed something. I mean, what? Episode 4. Okay, so great. The next episode I'm going to watch for Fish Upon the Sky is going to be something racist. I'll probably have something to say about that. Have you seen any GLs? Pearl Next Door. If you haven't seen Pearl Next Door, go watch it. I think that's an underrated show. Very underrated. I really thought they were doing a good job in trying to represent what they were trying with bisexuality and fear. I just honestly go watch it. I think it was great. There's another GL, if you call it that. It's a French film, and it's like Blue is the Sky. I need to find it out. That was a pretty good GL. I know they had a lot of issues with the director. He wasn't particularly nice, but that was a good story. He, she, it. Okay, I'll put that in my list. I'm a list person, just so you know. So I create lists. So sometimes you ask me for a show and it's on a list, but I go by that order. So sometimes you won't see it, and of course, um, I put it on Patreon first. So I tend to put a few episodes on Patreon first, just so I don't get spoiled. Because some people they don't mean to, but they do it. But I try to put that on there. Favorite opening song. Hmm. Do you mean favorite opening theme? I did like Tharn Type's opening theme song. I thought that was quite catchy. Sota's always the theme song always puts me in a good mood when I hear that. Always puts me in a good mood. And again, I Dark Blue Kiss is just my favorite opening. It's just the best. Li Cheng's butt. Um, is that to say it's not big or it's small? It's big. I didn't look. I might have to do that. Have we? Oh, yeah, we do see his butt, don't we? We see it when they're changing in the locker room. So I must have seen it. Hi, Isabella. Yes or no is a pretty good GL. Okay, I have to look into that. I'm always open to also watching GLs because I want to see more representation, and I feel like we need to see that. So, for those of you who saw who have seen the history series, what do you think of the newest one? Are you happy with it? Even though it's got problematic elements, what would you consider it maybe grade wise? Is it an F? Is it an A? Is it a C? I definitely think we need more GLs. I think if you can have so many BLs or so many representation of male parents, why can't we have it with female parents? And because they tried it, and I do think they failed. Like Waterboy, the series. I'm sorry, I didn't like the series. Really liked the movie. Um, but I think it was when the female character was supposed to be gay, then she fell for white. Oh, it was bad. That for representation of women. I feel like they didn't do a good job in SOTUS either. Some of your favorite side characters and or wingmen women in BLs. Pond is great from Love by Chance. If we're going to, it is Pond, right? If we're going to talk about that, that is someone. To be honest, it's just his lips. That's all I see first. Um, Great side character. Anytime the I'm not sure what his name is, but he was in Together. He was in SOTUS. He was played Cherry in SOTUS. Though he was frustrating in Together, he for some reason I really find quite funny, and he seems to be quite a good side character. Thank you. Yeah, Techno from Farm Type is probably my favorite side character. That actor I really enjoy. I honestly really, really enjoyed Techno's character. Yeah, I'm Lee Chen and Muren. Yeah, I grew to like him. I could not stand the character of Lee Chen at first, but he is the most developed and most layered character, and their story is quite interesting because of what they're like. But the Step Brothers approach, I'm more that I don't like the fact that he wants to be a he wants to be a brother but a lover. I don't like that word brother and lover being put together. I know they're not technically related. I just it's not for me. And some episodes of history were pretty dark at the beginning, pretty dark, and I think one of them was glossed over. One of them with Muren shouldn't have been as glossed over as it was. Hi, Noel. With until we meet again, I should let me check for you. Check my list. So until we meet again. again, I think I start reacting next week to that. Gun Smile. Is that his name? Oh no, no, not. Wait, did he play Cherry in Sotus? So there's so many Guns. I know he's called Gun. Hi, Ashley. Oh, no, great character in 1,000 Stars. Yeah, he was a good character. Sneaky, but a good character. I think that all of them. I mean, I even grew to like the children in it. I really don't like children. Adopted father and son. Yeah, no, no. It's no. Is Mild the original Techno? Was he? Oh, because I don't. Not. It's not the actor's fault, but after watching Mild play Techno, the other actor, I didn't feel the same for him. And it wasn't as if he was terrible. It's just I really liked Mild's character. I didn't realize he was kicked out. Um, Tomorrow's episode might bring. I think I'm a couple of episodes behind. I'm only on. Next week I'll be reacting to episode 8, so that's all 15 and 16. So I think I might be behind you, Bethany, on the shows. I know I'm pretty certain I'm a couple of episodes behind, so I've got to be careful not to get too spoiled on it. Gus Banana. Oh, is that his name? I still need to get used to nicknames as well, because obviously what they mean in English is completely different. Yeah, it seems like history for is definitely a mixed bag, and I wonder if they knew that, especially with the stepbrother trope. Sometimes I'm not sure. Yeah, actually, 1,000 Stars was a really good show. Mild is amazing. I think in everything I've seen him do, he's done quite a few things. I think he's been acting for quite a while. I see you're talking about that creepy guy who tried to rape and drug Muren. Um, yeah, I know he fled, but seeing as he was reported, he should have been fired. So that made no sense. But then, I guess story wise, they kept him for the plot point. Like we know there's the whole filming, someone filming Mei Fang and Li Chang. So there's that plot that they need to now focus on. Actors you think had no chemistry? Are we talking about on the shows or outside? Because probably a shock actors you think I don't think have any chemistry outside of the show, which makes them so good on their shows. Because there's definitely a few actors I think who have no chemistry outside, but when they act, they do. Um, Actors you think have no chemistry? Mean and Plan. Yeah, I 100% think neither of them wanted, obviously, to do BL. So if you don't want to do it, don't do it. So on the show, on the show, on the show. Again, anyone from My Dream, it didn't work. The chemistry didn't feel correct. Um, this is it Tumentar from Love by Chance 2, that felt weird and so ridiculous. That story plot, there was no chemistry from them, but I think they were just friends at that point. Um, oh, I have to say, White and Earth in Theory of Love, their characters. I mean, there was no chemistry whatsoever. Hmm. So I'm trying to think of the really bad, because you can always tell when an actor doesn't have chemistry with the way they kiss. Like, you can always tell by the way an actor kisses if they actually are comfortable. So that kind of shows you the chemistry. Though they have amazing chemistry and actually they do work on a series together, Nu and Tay, Nu's kissing abilities when it comes to kissing a guy just looks terrible. I mean, terrible. But they actually have great chemistry. That's the problem. I don't know. Maybe not. What about for you guys? Who do you think had no chemistry while on the show? Earth and Mix have great, but they're really good friends and they have been for several years. So for that's why it works though, because they're really good friends. And I don't think they take the ship inside too seriously because they've been friends for so long that they know they can just laugh it off and just continue on how they were friends before. Champ and Dr. Kun. Who are they? I'm so bad with names, which is what show was that for Champ and Dr. Kun? Yeah, Nude doesn't look comfortable kissing Tay. Sometimes. I think sometimes he just lets go and jokes about, but I just don't think he genuinely likes kissing men. I think who's gotten better with kisses is Off. If anyone has seen Off and Gun kiss, and is it Puppy Honey? Um, yeah, Off was pretty out there with his uncomfortability, but I really like how much he's grown. I have a lot of respect for Off. The couple from Love Mechanic, yeah, they must have had no chemistry. I don't remember them at all, and I've seen that. New Golf, yeah, New Golf have some of the best kisses out there. I mean, I tend to sometimes get a bit shocked at how they go into it. Also, I've noticed a lot of actors are starting to use their tongues, which they never used before. Jimmy and Tommy use it in Why Are You? New Golf. Sam and You in We Best Love used it quite a bit. Uh, not Tool and Max have used it. So it's sometimes you have to take a step back and go, these actors are really passionate about their roles. And that's something I can respect because it's not easy, especially because when you are doing a BL, one, you have to remember to bring a character to life, and then of course you then have to go against what you are. So if you're straight, if the actors are straight, then it's kissing another man and presenting that. as well as telling the story, making it feel believable, making the audience find it believable, because it's also, that it's very difficult. I also I don't just want gay actors doing BLs because I don't want them pigeonholed. I also don't want us to just want gay actors, because you wouldn't just want a gay actor to play a gay character. You'd want them to play straight. You want them to play all different types. You never want to be pigeonholed as an actor. Yeah, Love by Chance 2's plot was a mess. It really was a mess, and I think they were really bad in trying to get uh, Tin's older brother to be likable. It just didn't work. I really wish his redemption arc had happened a few episodes earlier. Yeah, Maxwell Mugov. I mean, I can't deny with you guys about their ability to kiss. I also think it helps that Mew looks like an amazing kisser. So again, I would probably include him in my hottest BL. That top, I don't know. It's a top six now, apparently. I don't know. Bethan, is that the one? Oh, what is the? He was the lead singer of that group, Ollie something. I didn't watch. It's not a sin. Or it's a sin. Sorry, but I know people acted in it. My agent actually put me forward to audition for it, um, but I know what it's about. So it's always going to be a hard watch, um, because of the time period. Yeah, the decade is set in, and then AIDS and HIV. I do want to watch it. I just, I don't know. It's definitely going to hit close to home. Do you think BL actors should be more aware? Yes, they should definitely be a lot more aware of LGBTQ issues. Now, taking a stance, that depends. Now, I'm not going to force them to do it, and I don't think people should, but they should remember you're making money off queer media. And I would rather at least know you have some respect for the community than just to be making money off of it. Because I do think it's a PR stunt. Sometimes you have the actors talking about issues, or saying gender doesn't matter, and it's clear that it's just something they have to say. But I would like them to take a stance and take some issues and be respectful, especially because you're making money from it. But I'm not going to force you to. But at least then I know who you are. You can always pick out the ones that are just there to make money instead of trying to make content. Uh, Golf is too pretty for me. His hair's too long. I generally like his hair's too long. I don't, and he's too pretty for me. He's so pretty. It's the same for you in We Best Love. He's so good looking, but too pretty for me. Shooting sex scenes. Sex scenes are very difficult, and kissing scenes. What people don't realize is, um, when you're doing a sex or kissing scene, there's usually about 25 people around watching you. And usually when you do sex scenes, they put a little modesty pad on you, so that so unless you want to show your nipples and it's in your contract, you can have these little things covering your nipples or the guy's private part, or nude underwear. They tend to put a lot of nude underwear, or whatever fits the closest to your skin tone for when you do scenes like that. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of people watching you, and of course, when you do a sex scene, usually halfway through kissing someone, they tell you to stop, and they re-roll the tape, and then when they're setting up for another 30 minutes and you're sat there like almost naked with your scene partner, and you have to kind of make both of you comfortable, and then it's back into it. And sometimes actors get carried away because obviously It's quite intimate. Its sex scenes are not easy. Oh, the camera's a lot closer than you think. It's just because what you see is different forms of shots. So it's a camera will be usually pretty close, but you don't see it because when they do film it further back with like a long mid close up or a long range shot, it's because that's like the 15th angle that they've taken it from. There's like you literally when you film a scene, you'll film it from one angle, then the next, and then the next, and stuff like that. Uh, some scenes can take 30, 40 takes, depending on what the director likes. My first, I guess technically my first BL that I can remember is Lovesick. But is it Lovesick? Or is there one song called something 13? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I'm not. I go for the more rugged ones, I guess. Actually, you go for the pretty ones. I go for the rugged ones. Then again, I really like Matt Bomer, and he's incredibly ridiculously Ken looking. But then I really like Tool. Tool is probably the one who I find the most attractive, and he's like a Ken doll. I like to try and reach too far out of my league. If I can act in a Thai BL, who would you choose as your partner? Well, Tool. I would go for Gun because I feel like you can really learn a lot from Gun watching him act. Um, Also, if it was to do anything sexual, then Mew, because I feel like he'd be a really good kisser, so you could just go into the moment. And what role would see? I would like to play the bad guy. The bad guy is the most fun role to play because you can do anything as a bad guy. It just is so much more fun. Cal is Cal from Lovely Writer. Mix is really pretty. I will say though, I didn't recognize him at first in Fish Upon the Sky in episode 3. He just looks so different for some reason. But yeah, he's very pretty. Not so much. I find not that he's not pretty. I find too much makeup on him in his commercial that they show during the commercial parts of it when he does his little snack advertisement. The bad guy is the ask any actor and they will tell you to play a bad guy is always going to be fun. Always because a bad guy is so layered. And also the moral compass of a bad guy is skewed because the good guy is supposed to be good. And if they do anything bad, then you guys are not happy. Not you guys, but like, you know, when a good guy does something bad, it's like it's really dramatic. But when a bad guy does it, you're like, oh, I expect that. It's just so much more fun. But also, I would love someone asked this earlier. I would love a supernatural, again, a supernatural BL, another one that I because I've been reacting to Supernatural, the TV show, and I've really been enjoying that. I'd love to see that for a BL. Yeah, the bad guys. Yeah, long. I respected the actor for what he did because for us it was very clear he wasn't a good guy, but he's very layered, especially his story, his side story. I felt really awokened an understanding with him. I just think the damage his childhood caused and what he did as he got older was pretty bad. Also, it's probably hard for the actor because a lot of people will remember him as long. So it'll probably take a few shows for people to go, oh, okay, he's playing something different. Again, I'm only on season 3, of Supernatural, please do not spoil it for me, even though I know it's ended. Um, Now, prefer, I kind of, oh, they're so annoying, both of them, but they're so great. I love both of them in comedy. I would say you can have Dean because he's a bit too toxic for me, but he is the more interesting of the two characters. I'll take Sam. I don't know why. I just, maybe I'll go and study with Sam or go to the gym with Sam. But Dean, I find the more interesting of the characters because he's so layered. Who else? But I'll take Ellen. Hmm. I'm trying to think of characters now. I think I don't know if we'll see Golf in a BL again. I don't know if he wants to do that. Um, but good luck to Golf because he's obviously worked, as we know, very hard for his career and where he wants to go, and he's got so many options. Um, if we see him in a BL again, great, but I don't see him ever doing it. And especially, especially after he won that award and they kind of did a weird quote, and I think maybe it was the Lost in Translation where it felt like they were saying he's a representation of what you can achieve when you start in a BL, as if I don't know, it felt very disrespectful towards maybe Golf and what he's done in a BL. Um, yeah, and I'm not gonna watch Lacorn. I'm not interested in anything straight. Uh, like I watch Supernatural, I have straight stuff. Um, in my everyday life, you know, around me. Most things I watch are straight centered or they do have queer elements. Again, honestly, I tell everyone go and watch Schitt's Creek. It is to me one of the best shows out there. Um, yeah, Nitty Man. Someone recommended it to me, um, but right now it's not available in my country, and I don't want to watch it for illegal downloads. I want to watch it from the site. So maybe if they upload, I can watch it. Um, am I ever going to react to Chinese BL adaptations? Well, I'm doing Word of Honor and The Untamed. Uh, they're the two that obviously I will put up. I have no problem with Chinese BLs. There's oh wait no, there's another one. Is it called Killer and Healer? Now I know they can only really stick to romance for because obviously in the law over in China, which fine, you know that's what they do. But I definitely want to still at least see Chinese BLs and see what they have to offer. You always give something a chance. I'd like to. Yeah, they do tend to do that with feminine leads, and I think it's because they they cater it more towards young women who want to see a more masculine type because they know they stand a chance. Because if it's too feminine gaze, then you know they're not going to like you, and unfortunately, they are marketing it too much towards sometimes the young girl out there when there's a lot of uh, LGBTQ people who watch BLs. And I think they forget that you should market it more towards them because they're more likely to spend money. Because the young girls are not going to spend money because they're young. They're more likely not going to have it. But they did it in Diary of a Tootsie. I know most of the actors were actually straight, but you know they were all supposed to be feminine. But I do agree that they they do come off as comic relief, and I do find it a bit too rude and too toxic. It's nothing wrong with having masculine gay characters, but there's nothing wrong with having feminine gay characters either. You know, you have to represent You can't just think that straight people are going to be masculine. That's just not how it works in life. Yeah, Lacorns, they do have. I don't like the plots. I'm not interested. You like SCI Chinese too? Okay. Take care, Ashley. I will try to do more lives for you guys. Obviously, first time, and then maybe I'll do some lives after watching a whole show to then get your reaction and my reaction to what happened. Maybe I'll do that as well. Jenny. Yeah, no, I would love to see Jenny in more stuff because she was in. I haven't seen it, but she was in Three Will Be Free, and sometimes I get very uncomfortable watching the shows with her because sometimes it feels like they're making fun of her. But I think it's more that she's just such a funny person, and she doesn't take it to heart. But I'd love to see her in more stuff. And there's the other one. They call her Mom. She wears glasses. She she would be great. She usually is like do manager stuff. She usually works with Jenny. That's her name. Yes, she's great. I think because they understand comic relief, that we enjoy their characters so much because they come in and they're very over the top, but they kind of like that when you see them do anything. They love to also tease the other actors. I noticed they do that a lot with often Gunn because Gunn's pretty cuddly. So I think they got to tease him and how cuddly he is. Oh yeah, Mike. I have to take a second to remember who. Uh, favorite female character, Ting, from My Engineer. That was quite easy. I think hands down, probably the best character. Unfortunately, there's not been too many great female characters. They used to. They've stopped doing it a lot now, making the female character the villain, and I like that. That taken away from that, but yeah, Ting from My Engineer was hands down the best representation I think they've had of a female character. Webcams. Oh, um, I completely forgot about her character. If I'm being honest, um, he was. she was definitely a very interesting character in Together with Me. I think like I felt like they didn't know where to take her in Together with Me next chapter. She was no, she was good as well. She was sometimes a bit too cartoonish, but I think Together with Me sometimes was too cartoonish, even though I really enjoyed it. Now, in terms of BLs, when did was it Addiction? When did that come out? That's the one where they go to that school together, and I think the two actors got banned from ever acting together again. Yeah, unfortunately, her character in Together with Me, the next chapter, it felt like they just wanted to make her the cheater. But I guess it's also shown reality of what can happen when you're with someone and you drift apart as you get older. Because it's kind of yeah, it highlights that. Addicted, that's it. Addicted. I remember watching that when that first came out. I really enjoyed that. I remember watching that repeatedly. Addicted was really, really good. And then there wasn't I never liked the show they were in because it was a body swap one. But I remember everyone thought the two actors were dating because I think they lived together, not Addicted, but another show, and they were Chinese, and then they stopped acting together or something. They used to always come up with my recommendations on YouTube. I need to remember it. It's Body Swap. What was it called? I don't know. Oh, Body Swap. Someone asked about tropes. I hate body swaps or soul swapping. That's why I won't watch The Shipper. You just won't see me watch that. Guardian. What do you think about Green Bales? Do you think they ever do? I do think Green Bales will do a full series. I do. I think with how conservative Korea is. Now, I watch a BJ, so broadcasting jockey, I think, called Namgyu, and he speaks about he's out, and he's not an actor, but he speaks about it. Um, I think as time goes on in society, and the younger generations in Korea will be more accepting to watching a BL. I do think they'll do a full series. I hope they will because they have so much potential to make amazing, amazing programs. Between all the click scenes that we can find again and again in every single video, what are some of your favorite? Mine is when one falls into the arms of the other. Oh no, we really okay. To be honest, I find them funny. So when they fall into one another's arms, or when one grabs the other one, and it's that whoosh sound, and they grab them, and then it's a camera angle here, 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 um, or when they piggyback ride on the person's back. I don't mind that one. That one's fine, but that seems always like a show off to show how strong they can lift the other actor. Um, I don't know. They're so cliche and so ridiculous, but they're so funny. Um, I mean, I could do without them from time to time, but sometimes we need them. I think if it's done in a, I don't know. I guess the the best one I saw was Earth and Mix because it was just him fainting. So I should say Pupa and Tian. Advance Bravely. Now, I remember that as well, but it's here, but I'm trying to remember the show. Was that was not with police? Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, the shipper. Just I'm not going to watch it. I'm not invested in a soul swapping story because then to me it's not a BL. Just because you're in the body of a male character and you're technically female does not mean it's a BL. I think that goes for that Academy show, which is a shame because it looks good, but I wasn't interested. The one where she makes a wish and then she becomes that boy and goes to that Academy school. I'm not going to watch that. Hello, Mika's Xavier. Hello, Strangers was good. I still need to watch the movie. Heaven's Official Blessings. Okay. I don't think I've heard of that. Yeah, amnesia plots are not. If it's done right, fine. You know, it can be good, but it's hard to make good. Oh, I didn't know the shipper had an incest kiss at the end. That's gonna make me not. No. Um, you hate it when they repeat the same scene. Yeah, I mean every show kind of does that, and it gets frustrating when they repeat the same scene 50 times. It's not that interested. It's also when they do running jokes, like Family Guy does running jokes sometimes that can last well over a minute, and it goes from being funny to just aggravating. But then I have noise sensitivity, so that kind of might be why. The advertising, I always call out the advertising in the shows. It always makes me laugh because product placement in these shows, for most of them, have been terrible because it's very clear what they're doing and it has nothing to do with the story, but they need to make their money. And I think Lovely Writer does a good job on highlighting that of behind the scenes and also subtly sneaking it in and then sometimes being very overt with it. I just think I could do without them. The thing is, though you repeat a scene 50 times sometimes, it, it, they could add stuff on. I get it's to, as you say, to fill the runtime of episodes. It's a bit strange recently because some episodes have been well over an hour, some have been close to 90 minutes, others have been in the 40-minute remit. And it's sometimes nice to be in the 40 minutes when you've watched one that's 90 minutes. Oh, that's my dogs. Someone's here. Yeah, well, hetero romances, not, I'm just not interested. Like, I don't even know if I have. No, no, I'm just No, there are characters. There are hetero characters I'm interested in. Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, Lovely Writer has been very smart in how it's addressed a few issues, especially casting, where they will kind of make fun of a more feminine actor, but yet they'll be feminine themselves. Um, I guess because it's hard because Lovely Writer deals with the BL industry from a series point stand and their everyday lives and how you need to separate both of them because, of course, they are different. But Aoi, oh, what a character. Oh, from India. Hello. Well, Ohm's characters, I mean, he's grown a lot. He was in Make It Right, right? And he's going to be in a new one with someone. It's like a Romeo and Juliet style show. Um, Lovely Writer's runtime. Yeah, it's been a bit strange recently. It's been a bit strange. I don't know why they're all of a sudden 90 minutes. Um, I'm not sure why they've been so long. I guess they feel like they've got so much to tell. From a reaction standpoint, it can be pretty tiring to sit there, and especially because I may have a torn or damaged ligament or muscle right now, not just in my wrist, but my legs. It's pretty uncomfortable. But, I'm looking forward to Kin Porsche. I'm really looking forward to that. If Game Boys 2 comes out this year, I'll look forward to that. Um, I promise you the moon. I promise you the moon. Uh, Definitely looking forward to that. And I wish Gaia Pelicula 2 was happening, but I think he's having problems in getting the funding and with the COVID. I wish he could do a Kickstarter and offer uh, benefits such as, like signed autographs, advanced screenings to see it, phone calls with the cast and stuff like that, or with him, credits in the name thingy, incentives like that to help people if they wanted to put money towards it. Because I would put money towards that because it was such a great story. Call It What You Want is something I'm also going to be watching. It's on my list, especially because of what goes on like behind the scenes, like with one of the actors. I mean, it's quite hard hitting what goes on in that because it's. I thought it was based on the actor from Two Moons Two, but apparently not. Do you know about Close Friends? I know about it. That's the two actors from Tharn Type Two, right? Yeah, and he's a cat. No, I'm not interested in that. I'm not into bestiality or the idea of like becoming a human in the soul thing. No, like I'm not into that. Also, I never know when it's on. Wait, on Earth, it's based on a younger Earth. Oh, I did not know that. Uh, yeah, the first two episodes of Lovely Writer, for some reason, they did have a lot of sound effects, and then they cut that out. There have been shows I've called that out on. Uh, because it gets frustrating. Sometimes they overdo it with sound effects. They really don't need to. With Why Destiny, only one episode kind of did that. The other episodes have been more about the eyes, which I appreciate. Also, we don't do sound effects like that over here. We just don't. They can be quite jarring sometimes because it takes you out of the moment. Yeah, call it what you want. I'm sure it's about the Two Moon scandal, which is very uncomfortable because of one of the actors in it, and also with how all the other actors have just been like, "Screw this! I'm not working on this show ever, like this TV show again." I don't know what's going to happen to their careers. I know one of them is in into one that he was on a singing competition. Nine. That episode was 15 minutes long. There was no minute. So he was a cat all along. Oh, Earth from Two Moons too. Is that what? Okay. What's a show you've rewatched a lot? I think Sotus I have rewatched. I also did a rewatch on Patreon for both of them, so that was interesting to have to wait a week to watch it. I definitely watched the scenes of Pete and Cal uh, from Kiss Again, because that was always interesting with Tay's character. I definitely have watched Together with Me Again, but when you do reactions, it's hard to actually find the time to sit back and do a rewatch, because if you're not reacting to something, you're editing and looking up what else to react and getting clues from people of what to watch. Um, I definitely would rewatch We Best Love, both parts, both seasons. Gaia Sa Película, Game Boys, I would watch again. I don't know about I Told Sunset About You because it's something so special about it. I don't know how many times you can rewatch it. Manner of Death, I would rewatch, but it's finding the time. Sound effects again. I guess unless you're used to it, can be very jarring because it just depends. I mean, I don't know. It's sound effects are not for me. I don't think for most of the shows they bring anything to it. Will I watch Two Moons 3? Hell no. I will not watch that. I have no interest, especially considering they want to hire uh, straight actors. Yeah, Gaia Sa Película is. Yeah, I think if you come from a time before uh, a show like that, you know the representation. Me growing up, I had Queer as Folk, the UK version, and I don't think that's a great representation. It's still a representation because I've been to Manchester, and when it back then it was like that. Um, I just think Gaia Sa Película. I hope it brought a lot of comfort to people struggling about their sexuality, and also just being comfortable to speak about it and to kind of question. I enjoyed reacting to My Engineer and Oxygen. Unfortunately, they weren't popular, but you can't get uh, you have to let go of it. I enjoyed My Engineer though a lot more than Oxygen. I think Oxygen started strong and then kind of got a bit weird, whereas My Engineer just kind of kept its flow. But I did find the main couple very toxic, and I called it out because it was toxic. I don't see a point in hiding that. Ram and King were great. and also the unfortunately with the problems with one of the actors, obviously when they had to dub his parts, mm, that was painful. But thank you for watching my engineer and oxygen reactions. I appreciate anyone who watches any of the videos. Oh, they rejected New. Oh, New Year. New Year is the one who's with the doctor. Who he's partner's a doctor, right? And he was in that. Oh, he was in a few BLs now. I'm not shocked they rejected these actors, considering I've said now a few times that apparently they only wanted straight actors, which is funny because I'm not saying he's not straight, but Nine is not what you first think of when you think of he's so cute. Uh, I don't know, they're very problematic, the company. Um, but I'm not shocked they rejected actors, especially if they don't want them to be LGBT. But also, you'll be shocked at how many of these actors have auditioned for BL shows or shows, and how many of them turn up. A lot of these actors will, audition for a show. I'm sure most of these actors have auditioned for probably 15, 16 other BLs we've watched and been rejected from them. Yeah, the music in Gaia Sa Pelicula is really good. Take it. It's nice to go and look up the musical score and then go and listen to it. It's actually very nice. I mean, if Two Moons 2 company burns down, I guess we go to Linda. Uh, yeah, Cal has auditioned for a lot of stuff. Nine is no, he's not with the company. He's actually in a group. He's not on the show anymore. He's in a band. So his career in China will explode. So good luck to him. But I also think Nine was never comfortable doing a BL anyway, and neither was the one who acted with him. Now, I know the Jung because he grew up in Turkey, and I've dated Turkish men, and I grew up around a lot of Turkish people in my school. They all thought I was Turkish when I was younger. So I remember being asked by over 600 Turkish people if I was Turkish. So I'm not shocked as well. He came across as uncomfortable doing that because Turkish people are not fond of gay people, a lot of Turkish people. Cal Rockface. Rockface? You're sipping tea here, and I don't know what that means. Do you think we'll be able to move on from the engineering student trope? I wish. Like, is every student in a BL an engineering student? It's just it's all gay men just become engineering students apparently in Thailand. I think it needs to disappear for a while. I think if we didn't see if maybe for the next 2 years a BL with an engineering student, I think we would really miss it eventually. I We need to. I mean, we have had shows get away from that. I would prefer it away from the university setting. Uh, but I understand because it's a common of age story usually. But I think we can do with less engineers. Even though my engineer was actually pretty good. I think it takes time. I think I think people haven't realized, unless you look back at say Sotus or Lovestick, how far they've started to come in BLs. It's taken a long time, and it'll probably take a few more years because I think it's gone on a ride. I think BLs went up in height, started to drop, have come back up again. So it's going to be a roller coaster. It's just listening to their audience. I think what they need to do is, and I'm sure they do, which is for marketing, is they do questionnaires and stuff like that. And they bring people in from different age groups demographics to understand what's working. I also think they need to talk to international fans and find out what they find is working for shows. Also, what actors would they like to see more of as well? A chef and a delivery guy. Oh yes, um, I saw that recently. There was also supposed to be one with Singto where he was working at a cafe and these young children were being murdered, and there was an investigation into that. I don't know what happened to that show. Did that ever come out? He played a gay character. Yeah, Nine got fifth place, which good on him. And there was also someone called Patrick who has done stuff, and he's in the group too. I know who got in the group, but I didn't watch the show. GMM seem to be losing a lot of their main cast who are moving on or becoming freelance. So it'll be interesting where GMMTV go with what they're producing, because obviously they don't. If it works, if two actors work for them, fine. If they don't, they're not really used. A pet peeve when it comes to BL protagonists. I can't stand the possessiveness of the main lead, the protagonist, if you want to call him the good guy. Um, that always will irritate me. This possessiveness that some of them have, I find it very toxic, and I don't find it romantic in any way. Hmm. Hmm. I'm trying to think of other pet peeves. Maybe when they're unnecessarily aggressive as well in situations. Is it being all about a teddy bear? I mean, I can understand it tackling issues. It's just so strange to have a teddy bear turning into a guy because then it's not a real person. I mean, it'll be interesting if it's tackling those topics. Do you watch other people's reactions to the shows you're watching? I have seen Revel. There, it's entertaining. There's Alex. There's Marco that I've seen. I speak to Marco. That's probably the only reactor who I've actually spoken to properly. Um, I do try to watch reactions that other, especially if I like Gaius Apellicula. I looked at other people, almost like Javier, but it can be a bit time consuming when you're reacting, editing, and especially if you've just watched a show. So sometimes I have to go back and watch their reactions to other shows. I think Rebel just is himself. I think that's just him. He's obviously just loves what he does. A lot of I know there's is it Evelyn? I think she does reactions. Um, there's a lot of Pinoy reactors that are pretty good that are out there. But again, I tend to watch more reactors to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You'll tend to find me watching that because it's a takeaway from BL. Have you ever watched a BL anime or anime? Okay, so technically, I mean, apart from like Pokemon and Digimon that when I was younger, is it called Gravitation? That wasn't a BL anime. I watched that. I did try to watch other ones, so I tried to watch BL animation before I ever watched BLs. Like, I'm not. I mean, I could watch anime. I say why not? I'm sure there's some amazing storylines. I tried to watch uh the Goblin Hunter or the Goblin Slayer, something like that. That's quite dark. I don't know much about animes in general. I mean, I definitely could. I did watch an anime. Was it an anime? Yes, it was, and it was on Netflix. And I think these people died, and they were put into this game, and then they had to kill these monsters. And if they did well enough, they survived the level. They could be revived. That was a pretty good anime. There's also that really famous one with the big, like, huge creatures that Attack of the Titans. People talk about that. But yeah, I need help in animes. I have no clue. Episode 6 of Make Our See with Make Our Days Count. Are you when you say episode 6? Are you talking about the two episodes together? Reacting to Why Are You episodes. God, I'm gonna have to go back and look at these because Revel pauses a lot as well. Yuri on Ice. Okay. Sword Art Online. I don't know what that is. Oh wait, maybe I don't know. Uh, Gantz. Oh, maybe it's Gantz that I watched. I have been watching some Korean. I like Korean stuff where they live in a apartment and people start turning into monsters. That was amazing. That show. What do you think of yaoi manga? Mangas are great. I get it. The only kind of manga I've truly read is one of my favorite ever films is Battle Royale, which I think everyone should go and watch. Um, but I haven't read any of those type of mangas. I don't think I have. I don't think so. Do you think some shows are? Oh my god, the time. Um, do you think some shows are overly sexualized? Do you mean in general or do you mean in BLs? If you mean in BLs, Make It Right too came across as that. Um, it was uncomfortable because when you think of how young the actors were, um, and it just felt a bit too much. I do think Why Are You at points? I mean, Tutor and Fighter at points was very, um, yeah. It wasn't. It was very sexual, and sometimes it felt like you were actually watching two people kind of have sex while you're watching it. I think it's just because the actors went into it. But I do think they do sexualize some of the shows too much, especially like, Love by Chance. Also, not too sexual, but I guess because the actor was underage, sometimes it was uncomfortable. I don't like knowing that. I just I'm not interested in someone young. I'm not interested in an actor who's like 18, 19 because I'm not that age. I make myself sound so old. Um, oh, the shower scene. Oh, Bun Xiang. Oh, yeah, that was intense. Yeah, that was intense. Good scene though. I've never used Tumblr, so you're in ice. I mean, I've only just started technically using TikTok. If you can even say I've used it, I don't even think I'm using it correctly. You could watch. Oh, I imagine the book that's the series is to the Untamed, the animated series. I can imagine there's a lot more to it, maybe because of less censorship. The anime number 6. Sorry, that was my phone. That was the song from Queen of the Damned, the soundtrack. Um, would you save this live on the channel? Oh God. Um, I could try to save this live on the channel. Is it worth it? Um, how old am I? How old? What can I get away with? I look younger in person. My name? You mean just the lowly channel? Or do you mean my real name? Love by Chance shouldn't have a sequel. Um, yeah, Love by Chance is the first one that comes into my mind. What other show? Hmm. I'm trying to think of because a lot of these shows are starting to only have one series. Um, oh, I'm trying to think now. I'm sure there's a few out there. I actually didn't dislike Farm Type 2. It had its problems, but I actually didn't dislike it like a lot of people did. Um, yeah, thank you. Uh, Together. I actually preferred Still Together than Together, but it wasn't actually needed. I didn't. What else? What else is there? I guess Make It Right is another one that didn't need a sequel. It also didn't make sense, the sequel. I'm sure there are many novels to Love by Chance. I just think they missed the mark on Love by Chance too. Man of Death sequel. I mean, they could do a sequel. I wouldn't mind it. It would be interesting, but I'd like there to still be like a murder mystery. I feel like they could be crime detectives. Are there any songs that make you think about a specific BL couple or show? I mean, in terms of BLs, no. Um, they're no, not in terms of BL. I mean, there are shows outside of BL that if I hear Michelle Branch or Full of Grace by Sarah McLachlan, then I think of a certain show that I've mentioned already on this live, not BLs. I don't know the original plot of Together. But I mean, I guess the producer was smart in changing it because it's still the number one most watched show. Have you checked out why the series? No. Someone who is on my Discord and my Patreon called Mazarin has, because she loves Tele, has recommended why the series. She says it is chaotic, but she really liked it. So I have her opinion on the show. Together was together was supposed to be an enemies to lovers. I don't like enemies to lovers tropes. It it's not interesting really. Um, I mean, it works. Enemies to lovers does work for a lot of BLs. It's just I think it might be just an overused trope. That's the problem. Okay. Why? I mean, I do like slapstick. Again, I've mentioned before that I am an actor, and the thing I excel in is comedy. So I grew up on slapstick shows. Something called Absolutely Fabulous is slapstick. Vicar of Dibley that we had over here are slapstick. As long as it works, and it can work. You know, we've seen BLs um, that do work in terms of comedy. It's just making sure it makes sense because there is an actual method to a slapstick. What do you think about some of the authors like me who portray sexual assault? You talking about the shower scene as romantic and the fact that BL novels are mainly written by women. Again, this is something Lovely Writer did that's really smart, which was highlighting a male writer. It's interesting that female writers write it. You can tell when a show is written by someone who's female or someone who's straight because it doesn't really represent LGBTQ correctly. Um, I do think. I mean, I don't really have too much a problem with BL novels being written by women. I would love to see it written by more women and men and in between who aren't straight because they would have a better understanding. I do think Mame, or maybe uh, uh, I think she tried, and it's not as if she failed in every aspect. It's her interpretation of maybe what she thinks is romantic for a male male couple, and that's the problem. It's this fetish that I think sometimes comes in what an author writes, because I think usually they say women are more in tune with their emotions. So in terms of that, we can get a better story told in that aspect. But I don't know if that's particularly true all the time. Like people are so different. We're all layered. Uh, I just think the portrayal of sexual assault. I got why people were very uncomfortable with that because it's 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 very uncomfortable. There's nowhere else to kind of skirt around the issue. I think she made mistakes, and I think she'll learn from it. Especially because I think she wrote the novels when she was much younger, so she has a better understanding of the world and herself. Do I follow any BL actors on social media? No. Um, no. I like I said, for some reason on my main uh, Instagram, for some reason, Off Gun comes up a lot, or just any of the BLs that are out. But I don't follow any of them. I mean, I could, but I'd rather not. I mean, I watched the show, not the actors. I don't know. Also, straight male directors. Yeah, getting straight men doing BLs to me is very problematic. Very problematic. I just don't see a need for them unless I'm not a big fan of this word, but unless they're an ally, I don't see an. I just, I just think a straight male perspective isn't the best. Have you watched Papa and Dad? No, I haven't. I haven't subscribed to that channel that produces it yet to watch it, but I will put it on my list because I have seen the trailer for it and it looks quite interesting. Her next series is Don't Say No. Yeah, that sounds very problematic for a title. Maybe you should listen to the fans' reactions to your shows and maybe have a different title. I mean, Don't Say No sounds like consent is not an option, and consent should always be an option. And I'm really not into rape in a storyline. I'm just not. So, yeah, Taiwanese shows could have more than 6 episodes, but I think because they're usually 20 to 30 minutes, it's okay. I mean, We Best Love packed in a lot. Maybe they'll get better as well. I wouldn't be shocked if Taiwan got a lot better with their episodes because they're quite an open place. Enemies to lovers trope. It's just an overused trope that nah. Well, a lot of BLs are technically problematic, Linda. Oh, yeah, a lot of them are problematic. So that's not very shocking, to be honest. And it's very easy to make money. I think people forget how popular these shows have become. Oh, here goes my dogs again. Yeah, it's easy money. It's they don't really care, to be honest. It again, if you're making money from something and people still want to watch it, they'll do it. And as you just said, all bad press, like bad press is better than no press. It's something we learn when you're acting and for PR. Even if you do something wrong, it's still press. Yeah, unfortunately, the tropes. Oh, I don't know. Tropes like that are very uncomfortable for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people. I get. Oh, I don't know. I think it's also it's how you handle that type of trope. Like if you can handle it with dignity and have a message behind it, then I think it works. I think, but what's your favorite from the History franchise? Uh, History 3 Trapped. Yeah, that's another one actually I have watched a couple of times. Like, yeah, I think that's the best one. I did like Make Our Days Count. I didn't like the first few episodes, and then I got into the story, and I think it was a hit and miss in the last episode. And I think definitely, yeah. But also, Love Line on the Line, or Life, Love on the Line. What's it called again? Um, Everyone should watch that and watch the final episode. Yeah, Trapped is definitely the probably the best one. It's also so there are elements of it where it's kind of all over the place and it's like, oh, that makes no sense, but it's so entertaining to watch. And the couple just really all of the couples, like my favorite couple, well, all of them, but my favorite character was the one who could do the handstands, who was like the small one, the gymnast. I liked him. Uh, the majority of the shows, rape scenes lead to romance. Yeah, I think that is a problem. That's not a real thing unless you have Stockholm syndrome. Um, you're not going to want to be around someone who's done that to you. History, right or wrong? Was that in? Was that in the first lot or the second lot? I need to go back and watch them. The history series has for the most part gotten better as it's gone along. I Yeah, I do think as it went along, it got a bit more risque as well in what it could show. Ah, the effect, yes. I have seen that. That that was a really good actual yeah, the outcome of that and the story, and it didn't glorify the rape. Yeah. I think that was that only 3 episodes? I can't remember. Oh, right or wrong. Right. Yes. I don't know if I finished. Did I not finish watching that one? I think I did. I'm sure I did. I mean, there's been a few histories now. Yeah, the effect was hard, especially with how it deals with how it leads up to the scene. Crossing the Line is good. I always wanted a second part to that, but I don't think they ever will do that. And I know the guy with the glasses has a little baby now. I saw a little image of him and the baby asleep in an elevator. Oh, wow. Do they do a lot of adultery? Yeah, secret boyfriend. Do they do a lot of male parents in India? Oh, is it? I think the effect was supposed to be ambiguous. I think it was supposed to be left up to you to interpret what it meant. I think the effect is literally supposed to have an effect on you. Yeah, I didn't think there was no LGBTQ in India properly, like stories, because I'm sure we would have all seen or heard at this point. But, you know, things progressing as time goes on. King Porsche does have some well-known older actors. Yeah, I couldn't remember what he's from, but I recognise the one playing their dad. I'd seen him in a few things before. That's quite nice to see established actors doing BLs, especially adult, like older roles, because I do think a BL can help someone's career. I know it's a stepping stone for a lot of these actors into other things, but it's still a stepping stone. How do I well with COVID? It's been very difficult because I do acting and I'm a first AD, so that's what I've done. I've worked in an office. I've worked in supermarkets. Handed out flyers and stuff like that. I'm also a carer. I have a disabled mother as well. I look after. So filming schedules can be pretty difficult. It depends. Sometimes I do need to take a step back, and so maybe take a week off of YouTube here and there, so that I can get things back up and running. Um, that's why sometimes I've already seen a whole show by the time I put it up. Um, I tend to film because not everything you film is long, so I can film. I film every day, but that's only because White Destiny is only available for a 2 hour slot that it's got. Um, and some of the shows I react to are only 12 minutes long or 20 minutes long. That's not a much out of your day and then edit. So I have a schedule to upload every day and I have a schedule to film every day. So it's every day, I literally every day. But if I get too overloaded, then I will take a week off. And usually people don't know, and then I will come back a week later. Or I'll go and stay at my friend's for a couple of days, seeing as she's in my bubble. So we're okay to see when we've been tested. Yeah, I'll do that if I need to. Go and stay at my friend's for a couple of days, drive down to hers, and take that little rest. Have you? Yes, I have. Yes, I. Oh, yes, it's To My Stars already uploaded onto my YouTube. Uh, that and the special. I filmed episode 8, 9, and the special on the same day, so I can get it out of the way because I had word of honor to then start doing. Um, I liked To My Star. I do wish it was longer though. I do wish the episodes were longer. Sometimes the episodes were fine for the length, and then other times it felt like it was missing patches of what was going on. I still really enjoyed it, and it was quite interesting um, with the characters when he said, "Can I kiss you?" and counted. So he gave him 6 seconds to tell him no before he did that. So he was asking for consent. To be honest, I've really enjoyed the Korean BLs. You Make Me Dance has been really good. Nobleman Ryu's Wedding, I've really enjoyed. But yeah, it's such a short show and short episodes. Okay, oh, because they speak two different languages. Yeah, and that's always interesting when they get two actors to work together who speak two different languages, and then they find a common language, but apparently it's English. Oh, okay. Yeah, consent is handled pretty well in Lovely Writer, but I also think that's because they are highlighting the issues that are found within not just the BL industry, but the series, the shows that they create. So they needed to handle consent in a really careful way because obviously they're trying to bring to light what goes on. You Make Me Dance, yeah, it did have really good music and really good dancing too. The actor's lines when he was dancing were pretty good. I liked Color Rush too. I enjoyed that. I thought it was really different from what we were seeing, especially seeing the world in grey and then finding the person who gives you color and the story of the mother. I wish we got to know a bit more about the mum. I would hope there'd be a season two. You could honestly, Color Rush could go for a few seasons because there's a lot of mystery behind it. Yeah, the mum was a plot hole. That's why I think you could do a lot more with that storyline, like a season two, because it didn't. It, we weren't certain like how she disappeared, if she was still alive, if she was not. What you? I liked Where Your Eyes Linger. Um, it's it's definitely an interesting story with the bodyguard and then him being in love with the person he's looking after, who's just a spoiled rich kid. But there's also a lot of deep meanings behind it, and then them having to be separated for so many years and then coming back. I think they did a good job. I do, because it's kind of the start for Korean BLs to see how it would go. Goodbye, Mother. Okay. I mean, I'll probably start looking into Vietnamese BLs because it's always nice to get an array of shows from different countries. It's always nice to see how they differ and how they're similar. Or yeah, Korean BLs will have plot holes because of how short they are. Because you won't be able to tell a full story really in a 12-minute episode. See, I actually liked the acting in Color Rush because of how guarded they were. I just thought it was a nice representation of someone who didn't want to be attracted to someone because of the fear that he would turn into someone stalkerish or deranged. But I get it. Some people just don't like it. And I don't think there's anything wrong. If you stopped at episode 5, at least you got to episode 5. I mean, Color Rush I never reacted to, so I just watched it. That was probably the only show so far since doing BLs that I think I've. Oh no, the second one that I've taken time to just watch by myself. And it's very strange not reacting to it with a camera or your phone. Okay, everyone, I see that it's over 3 hours. I apologize for that. I didn't mean for it to be this long. I didn't think anyone would actually come here. But I do actually have to go. It's pretty late here, and I've still got stuff I need to do. But thank you for asking me all these really nice questions. It was a lot of fun. And maybe if people want me to do another live, I will maybe in a month's time. Or if you want me to do live after I've seen a show to talk about it. I mean, if you want that, that's fine. If not, then at least I tried. But it is time for me to go. And thank you for the questions. These were some really great questions. I'm still thinking of a lot of your questions, Linda. They were really good. And I hope you all stay safe.